Hey everyone, welcome back. I thought I'd take a couple of minutes just to update you on what's going on with the van, specifically the engine. The engine shop is waiting for the pistons to come in. I spoke with them on Monday and they said they were hoping this week, if not next, hopefully. Once that's ready, I'll go and pick that up and bring that back here and we'll do a video on reassembling this thing. So, in that time, knowing that this was going to happen, I ordered this off of Amazon. Uh, how to rebuild a small block Mopar. And I got this very shortly after I bought the van. I always get these manuals that come in handy specifically for stuff that involves the torque specs when you're putting stuff back together. That's always important. So hopefully with these two pieces of literature and friends, we can get this thing back together and back in its home and get this thing on the road. I'm going to lift this thing up and get some shots underneath. If you're ever wondering what a Dodge Ram Van 1500 from 2002 looks like underneath, this is it. I'm going to start at the front here. Very first issue we ran into, and is very common with these vans, especially in areas with a lot of salt being used in the roads, was the front frame section here. This van is on a unibody frame. It's not a full frame. I don't know if you can see that, but there's frame rails there, but the body does not come off the frame. So this was all rebuilt, heavy gauge steel. That was not done by me. That was done by my neighbor Larry. Thank you, Larry. Larry's a fantastic welder with oodles of experience, and he did that for us. Thanks again, Larry. So at the front end here, all the steering components have been replaced. New calipers on the front for the brakes. The rotors were not that old. I did put new pads on, but I cleaned up the rotors. What else? Brake lines are going to need to be done. Flex lines, I have that stuff. I haven't done that yet. We're going to slide under here a little further. Obviously, the transmission and the engine are gone. That was a previous video. Transmission's actually sitting right there. I cleaned this up the best I could just with like a wire toothbrush and scraping gunk and stuff off it. I want to get it outside. And I want to clean it off with some brake clean, get rid of the residue of grease you can see there, and just give this a coat of paint. I did this in my Chev C10, which is hidden over here, and it turned out pretty good. I did it like a battleship gray color. The gas tank's out, the drive shaft's gone, and the exhaust is back there on the floor. It's been a while. I can't even remember what I did. It's terrible. Back here, we're at the rear of the vehicle now. I had dropped this whole rear end right out of it. You can see the shocks are new. The shocks in the front are new, but you can't really see them. I didn't bother touching the coil springs in the front. They were good. They weren't sagging. They measured out all right. So I left those on. New shocks back here, as I just said. Leaf springs were good. I did put new leaf spring shackles on in the back there. You can't really see it all that well from here. New axle bolt, new bolts here. These are new. I put a new seal on the rear end back here and changed the fluid already and painted that. And I ran a new brake line. All the brakes in the back here are new as well. New shoes, all new hardware. Once I'm ready to go, I'm going to fluid film or undercoat. This thing will be painted. It's going to go a gray color. Yeah, I'm going to spray it myself. I bought an electric sprayer and do this outside. Get a nice day and give it a spray. The good news is this thing is full of windows, so that means less areas I got to paint. The bad news is that means I got to tape all that off. I'll show you some what's going on here. Big pile of parts, gaskets and belts and stuff there. Seats are out. Seats are actually right there. I'm going to get light here in a second. Gas tanks in the back there as well. There's a bunch of parts up in my loft above my head. There's still stuff on the floor. As you can see, there's a whole lot of work to do in here. I've already got the plywood for the floor and the walls. I've already insulated the walls. This area up here is what I was talking about. This had completely let go. I welded these plates and pieces back in. This will all be covered up. You won't even see that anyways by the time I start putting the wood and putting the ceiling in and the walls. It's all going to be hidden. Did some patchwork on the floors by the rear wheel wells here as well. I really can't wait to get in here and start building cabinets and doing the counters. And I was even looking at on one of the smaller counters, trying my hand at that resin stuff that people do, the epoxy counters. It's a shame with these tires. The tires have all kinds of tread on them. They also have a whole lot of dry rot, so they got to go. I actually found the date on the tires. If you look in amongst all these numbers, the date is in there. These are actually 2012, so those are 14 years old. So I'm actually thinking of stepping up to a 17-inch tire. There's still parts sitting on my bench. There's valve covers. They need attention. There's pinholes in there. I can't remember where it's at, but I discovered that they had pinholes in them, so that means that will leak. Amazing how rusty stuff can get. There's the air breather cover. Had that out, so I painted that up. These manifolds are brand new. When I was trying to take the old ones off, one broke. These are cast, so when I tried to pop it off the engine block, it snapped, the old one, right about here. So I had to order new ones, so I got some high heat paint on those. Here's the intake, the throttle body. I had already gone ahead and cleaned that up. New O-rings on all the injectors here. I did the plenum gasket underneath. Can't really see it. Oh, this thing weighs a ton. But there's a plate under there. And there's a bunch of bolts. And when you take that off, there's a gasket there. And they are known to leak and cause problems. So within the gasket kit I got for this, there was one there. So I replaced it. There's the books. So as you can see, there's still a lot of work to be done on the van here. It's going to take some time. I'll get there. But stay tuned for more videos. Thanks for watching.